What's up guys, 14SilverX here, and we are working on our racing game. Last time we left off, we had our car, and we could make it drift clockwise. And it's pretty sick. And then if you had the standard edition, you could add little smoke trails. Like that. Pretty neat. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. This episode is going to be about cleaning up our drifting a bit. So what it's going to be about, technically, in the technical term of the whatever. So as you see, when we drift, we sort of like we sort of change direction a bit, see? And you look like that, and you drift at one set angle. So what we need to have it do instead is first you need to make sure that you have to be going fast enough. We'll set a certain speed that you can drift. And then as long as you have at least pressed the drift key while pressing an arrow key, it will start to drift in the arrow key direction, being clockwise or counterclockwise. And then what you can do after that is then let go of an arrow key but still maintain a curve as in that drift. And what the arrow keys will then do is either make the angle of that drift longer or shorter, or wider. So like I would just press shift once and then I could make like a drift like that, and then if I wanted to make it a tighter drift, I would hold down the arrow key and then it would just like increase the drift amount factor, radius factor, turning radius thing by some number. And then when you press out, it will sort of like reduce that arc, making it wider, but you can't like switch directions. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. So first, alright, so let's open up that, and we have the drift key, we have the right key. Alright, so I still do not know. I should have checked, but I didn't. Don't even know if I could. Anyway, what was I going to say? So here's the thing, and if drift is equal to 1, you set variable direction to 10. This will be our base value, I guess. Alright, and then, how about alright, we're going to have a new variable called drift factor, or D factor, right? And this starts at a 0. So when right is pressed, D factor is going to go down. So we have D factor is going to go down by 1. Let's try that for now. Alright, so D factor will go down by 1, but still we have to set our drift per se. So when we're pressing shift, we're going to change our angle by D factor. Alright, and now, so no, wait, we want to say direction D factor relative. Alright, and let's, what's our maximum speed? Maximum speed is 20. Let's not worry about that right now. So when we release shift, drift to 0, and we'll set D factor to 0 as well. Alright, so now when we press right, it sort of crunches that D factor. And let's set our base value. So when we press the right arrow, alright, and press the right arrow first, so if you have to press drift first, no, because then you'd have to like press it. Alright, so there's a couple ways you can do this. You can have a base value, and that you would require like a skill, like you'd have to release the right arrow key, then you have to press shift, then right arrow, so it requires a bit more skill. So you have to do is say variable drift equal to 1, and then you say d factor base value would be negative, say 8. You could do it like that. Alright. And yeah, you'd have to like let go of right key or something. Or you could just have it like this, where it changes starting out like that. And I think I'm going to keep it like this. Maybe I'll tour around with that later. So right now I'm going to cut that and run it. Alright, so our angle should just like get, yeah, so you can like spin out because of this. Like, it gets smaller, 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 and then you just go like that. So we need like a cap for it. Alright, so d factor negative 1, and the cap will be negative, so let's go 15. So if d factor is smaller than 15, negative 15, d factor will be equal to the dog is chewing on its bed, will be equal to negative 15. Alright, and let's see what happens if we paste that there. So I'm going to try to have to do like the thingamabob, you have to go, and then you go. Alright, that's a bit complex. I'm just going to get rid of that. So we'll just leave it like that. Alright, and then what left we'll do is we'll do pretty much exactly the same thing, except it's not the same. It'll set d factor to positive 1. And when this is 15, and 15 now positive, and drift has to be equal to 1. Yeah. I likes that. Let's try this out. Oops. Now I'm drifting in the wrong direction. What did I do wrong? Probably everything. Left relative is smaller. No. Larger. Chewing its nails or chewing the bed? Or chewing its nails to make it look like it's chewing, or chewing the bed but making it look like it's chewing its nails. Whatever. Ouch. Ouch. Get off of me. Ah! So wait. I can just hold the line, right? Yeah. So we might be going too fast. Like if you've played Mario Kart, you're not going fast really to like have to sort of gauge that drift like that. You're sort of going a bit slower. And if you're going to go fast, you might want to make wider turns. So right now I'm going to test it with a lower speed. Alright, let's go 15. Let's try that. I'm confusing myself on what keys I have to hold. Ah! See, you can't, it's hard to change drift directions like that, see? So either I need to change the rate at which we change our drift factor. Alright. I'm getting confused. So you can still drift when holding down the drift key. You don't have to hold down the arrow key. Just like Mario. See, I think it's happening too fast, or I'm just really slow. Probably the slow part. No! I keep letting go of drift. Okay. Hold drift. There you go. It's probably for me, I'd like those wider turns and a slower car. Alright, and also we need to change picture stuff. Alright, so in draw, I'm saying if drift is equal to 1. Alright, so what we're going to do is if drift is equal to 1 and d factor is, say, -1. Let's make that smaller. Then it does the right-facing thing. So then copy, actually we can just copy that, paste it, put it else. Actually, no. Because our else has to be defined, so we want to say larger than 1. They'll do that, except instead of -15, it'll be +15. Like that. And let's see how it works. So we're going. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na drift man. There we go. We're still like going faster than the AI. No! Stop spinning out! Come here. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. No, I hate that turn. Come here. Zoom. We should make the AIs drift instead of teleport. Oh yeah, we haven't defined anything for. You just have like an invisible car. You're just like, oh, stealth mode. Oh boy. Alright. So this sort of gives you more freedom like with sharper turns. Then you can just put else, put the normal car. Yeah. Okay. No, you can't. You have to do if that, you have to do an else if. So else you'll do this and then that. Alright, so there you go. You have to do that. What are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? We can either do grass or AI drifting. Right now, let's do the grass effect. Alright, so the grass effect is what I like to call it. It's not the official term used by like professionals around the world, so don't get excited. I just made that up right now. The grass effect. Alright? So what the grass effect is what, right, we can make the background be like green. Alright? And there's your grass. Ta-da! And then what you can do is if you're touching the road, you go normal speed. If you're not touching the road, you get grass effect. Grass effect is my term for you go slower because you're on the grass. Unless it's Mario Kart, where you can use the grass as a shortcut when you have those triple mushrooms, or whatever, cream mushroom, whatever overpowered item that they have. So let's do some grass effect. And basically it's not grass effect, it's not road effect. Is how we're going to do it. So let's get rid of this wall right here by going to objects and then deleting that. And then you get yours just the regular road without the wall. So what you can say is, and this also helps with like AI, if they, instead of having wall hits, they can just be in the grass, except now they have to figure out where they are. I'll have to go over that later, I guess. So, grass effect. Player 1. Collision with one of these. We need to make a parent. Alright. So, what you need to do, you have to make a parent for these turns and straights. I'm going to make a parent. It's called a road. So it's going to be road underscore parent. Parent. Alright. And it won't have a sprite. And alright. And so for right now, since it's a turn 1, I believe we are using, we'll just set this one to road parent for now, depending if you want to use grass effect or not. So if you are colliding with a road parent, then you're good. Alright. So if you're colliding with a road parent, what you want to do is you want to put here, and you can put G effect will be 0. Alright? And you can put in here, you put G effect starting out as 0. And instead of doing it every step, you want a sort of a delay, and I think this timer function gives you that tiniest maybe delay. So you're going to set alarm 0 to 1. And that event, you want to say alarm 0. We want to say put the grass effect, the G effect, set a value it to 1. Alright, so it's going to try to set it to 1, but I think this will happen quicker so that you won't experience the G effect as much. So you collide with the road parent, you're good. So in the step here, what you can do here is actually you don't need this timer. What am I doing? You don't need the timer. Get rid of the timer. You probably don't even need this. So you go in the step, alright? You say, you could actually say check empty. You know? So you can check empty, objects, all, which would include other cars, but right now that doesn't really matter. And you say relative. So if under us, copy this. You probably don't even need a G effect. Paste. If there's nothing under us, which means that we are off the road, then you want to set friction to a greater value like 0.8. And this will make it harder to accelerate, but you can still go the same speed, I believe is what it means. Let's try that out. Alright, so that's normal acceleration, and here's on the grass. It takes longer to accelerate, but you can still go the same speed and drift. Alright, so now you need to minimize that drift cap. So what you can do is you can take this, copy, paste, move hither, and you put it in a block. This means you're on the road. If you're not on the road, it's a bit of a problem, paste, and you're going to reduce this cap to, actually we'll leave that at 15. And we'll leave that at 15, and we'll increase our speed back, because we like going fast, even though it's sort of complex. But then you can just make your roads wider, depending on what you want to do. It's all up to you. I'm just teaching you concepts. So there you go. So let's try it out. So you're going, and now you're slowing, except you're still going pretty fast. You're still going faster than the other guys, so you might want to reduce that cap. No! Where am I? Stop it. Let's get back on the road. So we still have that pretty slow startup, and we are stopped quickly. Alright, now we can go a lot faster. Are we going faster? It's hard to tell. Hold on. From all objects. Let's make us go painstakingly slow. So we're booming. Oh yes, there's our difference. And now we're zooming. Now we're drifting. And we're drifting some more. Something tells me we need to go faster. This doesn't sort of seem fast enough. Oh, you can give the illusion of going fast by making marks on the road. I can't see because there's a cat in front of my screen. There we go. See, we're still not going fast enough to make drifting sort of useful. See, we can just easily take these turns still. So, what we need to do is make this harder. Or, it's because this is still here. That might do it. Let's get this full screen. Yes! There we go. Oh yes, this is much more fast-paced and fun. Ah! No! No! Yes. And then you hit the grass and you're just like, oh. And then you're just like, no! Awesome. So yeah, there's your grass effect. When you're on the grass and it just sucks, let's put a wall back there, at least for me. Then you can just like change the dimensions of your room and where you put your objects. Next time we will make our CPU go faster and drift to make it a bit more competitive, and then we'll add in more AIs, a placement system, which is probably going to be the hardest part. Excuse me. And we'll have more stuff later. Alright, so don't forget to save your game. Please subscribe if you've already subscribed. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.